Okay, everybody. We're going to be continuing our games on the Christmas Day 2021 special, and we're going to play the 1995 PC version of Jeopardy. Let's see how we do. Been trying to. There we go. Now it works. Yay! That's better. Now it works just fine. Let's play.
Welcome to Jeopardy! Let's begin our game.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to be him this time. Use the enter key to buzz in. Let him be a player. We'll let him be a player. Let's play.
I'm Michael Grant, a commercial airline pilot. I flew jets in the Navy, and I've always been interested in military history.
My name's Ted Smith. I'm a print journalist with a major weekly news magazine. I love my job, and I spend my spare time studying the day's events from Washington.
All right, contestants, let's begin round one. There is one
Brazil.
daily double on the board, and here are the
Films of
categories.
the 90s, inventions, historic ages, messengers, and we'll close it out with rhyme time. All right, I can deal with these categories.
Good luck. Contestant number one, we'll start with you.
Brazil for 100.
The answer is
Okay. In the 1980s, soybeans gained on this crop as the country's most valuable agricultural export.
contestant number one.
What is coffee?
You are correct. Contestant number one.
The 1815 Act of Union joined Brazil to this European country in a unified kingdom.
Contestant number one.
What is Portugal?
You are correct. Contestant number one.
Oscar Niemeyer designed the Congress buildings in this capital.
Contestant number one.
What is Brasilia?
You are correct. Contestant number one.
This is the Brazilian name for the pre-Lenten festivities known as Mardi Gras in the U.S. Pre-Lenten, I should say.
Contestant number one.
What is Carnival?
You are correct. Contestant number one.
The source of over 3/4 of Brazil's electricity is this, not fossil fuel.
Contestant number two.
Solar?
Incorrect.
Wrong.
Contestant number three.
Hydroelectric power?
Yes.
Yep.
That's correct. Contestant number three.
Now into films of the 90s, okay. This actress braved the terrors of outer space for a third time in Alien 3.
Contestant number one.
Who is Sigourney Weaver?
Yes. That's correct. Contestant number one.
The Ron Howard epic Far and Away teamed Nicole Kidman with this actor, her real-life husband.
Contestant number one.
Who is Tom Cruise?
Yes. That's correct. Contestant number one.
This blockbuster comedy starring Mike Myers and Dana Carvey began as a skit on Saturday Night Live.
Contestant number one.
What is Wayne's World?
Yes. That's correct. Contestant number one.
To escape the mob, Whoopi Goldberg took a new habit, that of a nun, in this film.
Contestant number one.
What is Sister Act?
Yes. That's correct. Contestant number one.
Desi Arnaz Jr. had a bit role portraying his father in this film about Latin music makers.
Contestant number two.
The Mambo Kings?
You are
Yep.
correct. Contestant number two.
In 1979, Sony developed this portable stereo cassette player with headphones.
Contestant number one.
What is a Walkman?
You are correct. Contestant number one. Let's take a look at the answer.
The first major consumer appliance was this man's sewing machine, invented in 1851.
Contestant number one.
Who was Singer? Isaac M. Singer, yeah.
Correct. Contestant number one.
In 1974, this Hungarian invented a cube puzzle, later marketed by Ideal Toys.
Contestant number one.
Who is Rubik?
Yes. That's correct. Contestant number one.
In the 1860s, he had a dynamite idea.
Contestant number 1,
Who was Alfred Nobel?
yes. Contestant number 1,
In 1937, the owner of an Oklahoma City supermarket made the first of these by putting a chair on wheels.
contestant number
What
1,
is a shopping cart?
you are correct. Contestant number 1,
Historic age is 100. It's divided into the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic ages.
contestant number 1,
What is the Ice Age?
incorrect.
No.
Contestant number 2,
The Stone Age.
you are correct. Contestant number
Got
2,
it. The New York and Mississippi Valley Printing Telegraph Company changed its name to this in 1856.
contestant number 2,
Western Union? Yeah.
yes. That's correct. Contestant number 2,
All right. He's the herald angel of the Bible.
contestant number 3,
Michael?
I'm sorry, that's wrong. Contestant number 2,
Gabriel. Oh, yeah.
you are correct. Contestant number 2,
Pandora was given the gift of persuasion by this messenger of the Greek gods.
contestant number 1,
Who is Hermes?
you are correct.
All right.
Contestant number 1,
A short trip to deliver a message, or a type of boy who goes on one.
contestant number 1,
What is a bicycle? No.
contestant number 3,
Errand?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
that's correct. Contestant number 3,
All right. In 1844, Henry Wells started an express company with this man as messenger.
contestant
I
number
gotta hit the
2,
buzzer. William Fargo, yeah.
correct. Contestant number 2,
All right. An aircraft for an animal doctor.
contestant number 1,
What is a vet jet?
you are correct. Contestant number 1,
It's what you might call one who steals steaks.
contestant number 2,
A beef thief, yeah.
yes, select again. Contestant number 2,
A striped mammal born under the sign of the scales.
contestant number 1,
What is...
wrong.
I don't know.
Contestant number 3,
A Libra zebra.
you are
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Contestant number 3,
Letters sent to prison.
contestant number 1,
What is jail mail? There we go.
correct. Contestant number 1,
A large ape from the Philippine capital.
contestant number 1,
What is a Manila gorilla?
yes, that's correct. Contestant number 1, here is the clue.
The Indus civilization arrived at this metal age around 2500 BC.
Contestant number 1,
What is the Bronze Age?
yes, that's correct. Contestant number 1,
The early part of the Middle Ages is called this due to the lack of written sources from it.
contestant number 3,
The Dark Ages, yeah.
you are correct. Contestant number 3,
400 only. All right. He'll be tied with Michael if he gets this clue right on this clue. The 18th century, a period of enlightenment in Europe, was called the Age of this. The Age of Reason?
yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. Contestant number 3,
Kingdoms these seafaring people set up during their age 800 1100 AD included York and Dublin.
contestant number 2,
The Vikings.
you are
Yep.
correct.
Double Jeopardy.
Now for the double Jeopardy round, with 2 daily
Historic
doubles somewhere on the
partitions,
board in
dogs,
these categories.
Third parties. St. Paul. Minnesota. Ancient Egypt. Oh boy.
Good luck. We'll begin the game with contestant number 3. The answer is
In the 1920s, this island was partitioned into Catholic and Protestant-dominated parts.
contestant number 3.
Puerto Rico?
Sorry, incorrect.
Nope.
Anyone else? Contestant number 2.
Ireland?
You are correct. Contestant number 2.
In this state, the Liberal and Conservative parties exert ideological pressure on the two major parties.
Contestant number 3.
California?
Sorry.
If I were to buzz in, I'd say what is New York? Oh, and I would have been right.
Contestant number 2.
Oh well. In 1968, this presidential candidate of the American Independent Party got almost 10 million votes.
Contestant number 3.
Ross? No.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Contestant number 1.
Who is George Wallace? Yay!
Yes. Select again. Contestant number 1.
It was the nickname of Teddy Roosevelt's Progressive Party in 1912.
Contestant number 3.
The Bull Moose Party, yeah.
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
America's busiest port on the Great Lakes is shared by Superior, Wisconsin, and this Minnesota city.
Contestant number 2.
Duluth? I was thinking that.
Good job. Contestant number 2. Here is the clue.
Papyrologists learn about ancient Egypt by studying texts written on this material.
Contestant number 1.
What is the Rosetta Stone? No.
Sorry. Contestant number 3.
Oh, it's papyrus, right.
You are
My
correct.
bad.
Contestant number 3. It's the Daily Double.
Going for 1,000. All right, I'll put you $600 if you get this clue right. As he approached this city, a heavenly light shone upon Paul, blinding him for 3 days. Damascus?
Yes,
In Syria,
that's
yep.
correct. Contestant number 3. The answer is
When it merged with the town of St. Anthony in 1872, this city became the state's largest.
contestant number 3.
Minneapolis, I knew that one.
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
Unearthed on a Minnesota farm, the Kensington runestone records an alleged visit by these people in 1362.
Contestant number 3.
The Vikings, yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
This native of Germany is the most popular herding dog registered with the American Kennel Club.
Contestant number 3.
Collie? No.
Wrong. Contestant number 1.
What is the Dachshund? No.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Contestant number 2.
Oh, the German Shepherd. Duh.
You are correct. Contestant number 2. The answer there is
Among these dogs, the water type has a poodle-like coat while the Cocker's is long and silky.
contestant number 1.
What are Spaniels?
You are correct. Contestant number 1.
Term for the hairs along the neck and spine. A dog raises them in times of stress.
Contestant number 3.
Hackles?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. Contestant number 3.
This barkless dog's name is probably of Bantu origin, meaning native of the hinterland.
Contestant number 1.
What is hyena?
Oh, sorry.
No.
That's not right. Contestant number 3.
Dachshund?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Contestant number 2.
Wolfhound? No, Basenji.
Oh, sorry. That's not right. Contestant number 3.
The Anti-Saloon League and the WCTU have been supporters of this party's programs over the years.
Contestant number 3.
The Prohibition Party, yeah.
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
The other daily double.
It's a daily double.
All right, 700. Here's the clue. Callimachus, a Greek scholar, compiled the bibliography for the great ancient library in this city. Alexandria.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
This author's home on Silk Center is preserved as a historic site.
Contestant number 3.
Sinclair Lewis.
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
This Mediterranean isle was partitioned in the mid-1970s.
Contestant number 3.
Cyprus.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
It was first partitioned in 1772. Russia got the northeast, and Austria and Prussia took parts too.
Contestant number 2.
Hungary? No.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's wrong. Contestant number 3.
Romania?
Incorrect.
I have a slight hunch what it could be, but I'm not taking a chance. Poland. I was
Contestant
thinking that.
number 3.
Some folks say Queen Victoria popularized this dog, but perhaps Lassie deserves some of the credit.
Contestant number 1.
What is a collie?
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 1.
Historic partition is 400.
The answer there is...
It was partitioned from India in 1947, but still had to win its independence from Pakistan.
Contestant number 1.
What is Bangladesh?
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 1. Let's take a look at the answer.
When this Southeast Asian country was partitioned in 1954, Annam was split between the north and south portions.
Contestant number 1.
What is Vietnam?
You are correct. Contestant number 1. Here is the clue.
This party, named for paper notes not backed by gold, elected 14 members to Congress in 1878.
Contestant number 2.
The Greenback Party? Yeah.
Yes, select. Contestant number 2.
Paul's feast day, June 29th, is shared with this saint and leader of the apostles.
Contestant number 2.
John?
Sorry, that's incorrect. Contestant number 3.
Peter?
You are correct. Contestant number 3.
By trade, Paul is a maker of these shelters.
Contestant number 3.
Tents?
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 3.
In Acts 22:3, Paul announces to a crowd, I am verily a Jew born in this city in Sicilia.
Contestant number 3.
Damascus? No.
Wrong. Contestant number 2.
Babylon?
Wrong.
No. If I were to buzz in, I'd say Jerusalem, but I'm not buzzing in. Tarsus, good thing I didn't.
Contestant number 3.
Making up several books of the Bible, they're the letters written by Paul.
Contestant number 2.
Apostles? No. That is wrong.
Sorry, that's incorrect.
I'd say Psalms, but I'm not sure. The Epistles, good thing I didn't.
Contestant number 3.
Minnesota leads the nation in the production of this ore. Most of it coming from the Mesabi Range.
Contestant number 3.
Magnetite?
Sorry, incorrect.
No.
Anyone else? Contestant number 2.
Iron? Yeah.
Yes, select again. Contestant number 2.
This book contains spells that were supposed to help the deceased in the afterlife.
Contestant number 3.
The Book of the Damned? No.
Oh, sorry. That's not right. Contestant number 1.
What is the Book of the Dead?
You are correct. Contestant number 1.
Egyptian men often wore these skirts, but they weren't plaid like the Scottish ones.
Contestant number 2.
Kilts, I knew that one.
Yes, that's correct. Contestant number 2.
This goddess hid her son Horus until he was old enough to avenge the father of his murder, Osiris.
Contestant number 3.
Isis? Yep. Final Jeopardy coming up.
Right. The final Jeopardy category is contestant number 1. What would you like to wager?
500.
The final Jeopardy clue is
Here it is. It was once advertised as the Daily Diary of the American Dream. The Daily Diary of the American Dream. What is the Washington
contestant
Post?
number 2. Your final Jeopardy response was, oh, sorry,
The Wall Street
that's not right.
Journal.
Let's see what contestant number 2 wagered.
Oh, well. At least I still walk away with $6,000.
Your total? Contestant number 3. Your final Jeopardy response was, good job. Let's see what contestant number 3 wagered.
Yeah, $11.50. He's up to $3,450.
Your total?
I got it wrong, but I still win.
Contestant number 1. Your final Jeopardy response was wrong. Let's see what contestant number 1 wagered. Your total? Contestant number 1, you are now the reigning Jeopardy champion. Congratulations.
And I'll see you all for the next segment right after this break. We'll be right back.